Well, what's up, guys? Mr. Shaver back with you here. It's time for our boy Edward, our miraculous journey we're on. And we're going to pick up on chapter 18. It kind of goes right after 17. Obviously, it goes after 17, but I had to make two videos this time, so uh, welcome back. So let's just real quick, let's check our brain bookmark here. Um, I see Sarah Ruth's name. I see Bryce's name. And that reminds me, as I flip, of course, is there they are. There's little Sarah Ruth with Edward, and there's Bryce playing the harmonica. Um, New name, right? Jangles is his new name. So this chapter was kind of sad, right? Bryce brought home. That's why he took Edward down, from being a scarecrow from the old lady there, and now she hasn't had a doll or hasn't had nothing for a long time. So he has nothing. She has nothing to play with. Edward is. Their whole old China doll was broken by her dad, I think, or it says he. So I don't know who they're talking about. Might be dad. It might be somebody else. I don't know. But said she won't get no more toys because she ain't gonna live much longer. That made me really sad that this little 4-year-old, maybe 4 or 5-year-old, was really sick. Right, she was coughing a lot, couldn't really talk. And Bryce too kept wiping his nose and wiping his nose. So I wonder, what's up with him as well. So Edward wasn't sure, but he actually got cradled this time, right, like a little baby, and he absolutely loved it. Right, he said it felt like something he's never felt before. So he's going through some hard times, Edward, and now his new family is found again. So hopefully, we'll see. All right, so this looks like a button box, a bunch of buttons or something. So let's see what happens here in 18. Bryce and Sarah Ruth had a father. Early the next morning, when the light was gray and uncertain, Sarah Ruth was sitting up in her bed, coughing, and the father came home. He picked up Edward by one of his ears and said, "I ain't never." "It's a baby doll," said Bryce. "Don't look like no baby doll to me." Edward, hanging by one ear, was frightened. This, he was certain, was the man who crushed the heads of China dolls. "Jangles," said Sarah Ruth between coughs. She held out her arms. "He's hers," said Bryce. "He belongs to her." The father dropped Edward on the bed, and Bryce picked up the rabbit and handed him to Sarah Ruth. "Don't matter anyway," said the father. "Don't make no difference. None of it." "It does so matter," says Bryce. "Don't you sass me," said the father. He raised his hands and slapped Bryce across his mouth, and then he turned and left the house. "You ain't got to worry about him," said Bryce to Edward. "He ain't nothing but a bully, and besides, he don't hardly ever come home." Fortunately, the father did not come back that day. Bryce went out to work, and Sarah Ruth spent the day in bed, holding Edward in her lap and playing with a box filled with buttons. "Pretty," she said to Edward as she lined up the buttons on the bed and arranged them in the different patterns. Sometimes, when a coughing fit was particularly bad, she squeezed Edward so tight that he was afraid he would crack in two. Also, in between cough fits, she took to sucking on one or the other of Edward's ears. Normally, Edward would have found that intrusive, clingy behavior of this very sort of annoying, but there was something about Sarah Ruth. He wanted to take care of her. He wanted to protect her. He wanted to do more for her. I think that's good. I want to do more for her. Instead of usually wanting people to do for him, right? At the end of the day, Bryce returned with a biscuit for Sarah Ruth and a ball of twine for Edward. Sarah Ruth held the biscuit in both hands and took small, tentative bites. "You eat that all up, honey. Let me hold Jangles," said Bryce. "Him and me got a surprise for you." Bryce took Edward off in a corner of the room, and with his pocket knife, he cut off lengths of twine and tied them to Edward's arms and feet, and then tied the twine to sticks of wood. Remember, twine is just like string. See, all day I've been thinking about it, Bryce said. What we're gonna do is make you dance. Sarah Ruth loves dancing. Mama used to hold on to her and dance her around the room. You eating that biscuit? Bryce called out to Sarah Ruth. Uh-huh, said Sarah Ruth. You hold on, honey. We got a surprise for you. Bryce stood up. Close your eyes, he told her. He took Edward over to the bed and said, Okay, you can open them now. Sarah Ruth opened her eyes. Dance, Jangles, said Bryce. And then, moving the strings with the sticks and with one hand, Bryce made Edward dance and drop and sway. And the whole while, at the same time, with his other hand, he held on the harmonica and played a bright and lively tune. Sarah Ruth laughed. She laughed until she started to cough, and then Bryce laid Edward down and took Sarah Ruth in his lap and rocked her and rubbed her back. You want some fresh air? He asked her. Let's get you out of this nasty old air, huh? Bryce carried his sister outside. He left Edward lying on the bed, and the rabbit staring up at the smoke-stained ceiling. He thought again about having wings. If he had them, he thought, he would fly high above the world, to where the air was clear and sweet, and he would take Sarah Ruth with him. He would carry her in his arms. Surely, so high above the world, she would be able to breathe without coughing. That's really sweet of Edward, isn't it? After a minute, Bryce came back inside, still carrying Sarah Ruth. She wants you too, he said. Jangles, said Sarah Ruth. She held out her arms. So Bryce held Sarah Ruth, and Sarah Ruth held Edward, and the three of them stood outside. Bryce said, You gotta look for falling stars. Them are the ones with magic. They were quiet for a long time, all three of them looking up at the sky. Sarah Ruth stopped coughing. Edward thought that maybe she'd fallen asleep. There, she said, and she pointed to a star streaking through the night sky. Make a wish, honey, Bryce said, his voice high and tight. That's your star. You make you wish for anything you want. And even though it was Sarah Ruth's star, Edward wished on it too. All right, we're stopping right there. That's the end of the chapter. More about the stars, guys. We've been making this connection, right, about the stars. We're trying to figure out, what how is this all going to come together? From him at the beginning at Abeline's house to being in the ocean talking about stars, being in the dump talking about stars, looking at the constellations, and now he's looking at shooting stars, right? Or fallen ones. Pretty sweet, right? Cool. All right. I hope you enjoy, guys. I'll see you next time with chapter 19. Quick peek. There's the picture. We'll see.